Hi, this is Scott Carpenter, aka Joe Black. I'm on my public hunting area, and what I want to do today is just do a typical research day, kind of show you what it's like on every day. Because to be honest with you, pretty much most days it's just boring. I mean, I love being outdoors, but in reality, it's it's hiking, it's looking for sign, it's being observant, it's listening, that sort of thing. It's not like there's Bigfoot running around behind every tree or throwing stuff at you every time you go out. I'd say 98% of the time nothing happens that you see or hear. Some stuff you catch advertently on your video cameras, and the rest of the time it's just normal, normal hiking in the woods. Of course, I have on my equipment today, my normal stuff. I have my back trail camera here, which I need to adjust. And that's HD camera, and it's getting everything going on behind me. And then I have my mainline camera that's mounted on a monopod / walking stick, which it's either filming behind me or to my left or right. It's a waste of time to film where you're looking, because the big guys know where your eyes are looking, and they're avoiding being seen. So I'm always filming left, right, or behind me. So this was the introduction, and periodically through the day I'll do a little narration of what I'm doing, where I'm at. Right now it's in June. It's extremely hot. It's already 85 degrees, so it's going to be a hot one, but hopefully you'll enjoy this. I'm getting ready to go check out what is, I call it, day shelter. It's a naturally formed blind that allows Bigfoot to watch a horse trail to my left. It's right against the lake, so there's no way anything can sneak up behind them. They've got water, and of course they can see the horses and everybody pass by the trail and stay unnoticed. One of the things I wanted to show you is this right here is a Bigfoot trail, and it may be difficult to see, but the reason it's a Bigfoot trail is there's high head clearance all the way down through here. All the major limbs of the trees are broken off at least 8 to 10 foot high, almost like on purpose. And this trail leads right to that blind, and it's the horse trail goes around to my left. So I found this back in 2009, and I check it periodically. But this is what, when you hear me say high head clearance trail, this is what I'm talking about. Alright, I'm at the day shelter. One thing I did want to show you is the Bigfoot trail comes right through here between these two trees, that tree and this tree. And for about two years, I would always put black thread up between those two trees at 8 foot level. And pretty much every time I came in here, it was broke. So I kind of determined that the Bigfoot were using this trail on a regular basis. And I don't know if you can see it, but as usual, it's broke again. So, but anyway, just kind of showing you that it's kind of how I keep up with the activity. Now the day shelter is right here. Sometimes there'll be leftover honeysuckle or sheep soil or some other sort of plant in here. It doesn't look like they've used it in the last few days, but I have come in here and this all be matted down. Like I said, there'll be honeysuckle and other wild flowering plants be collected here and left. So, this area is just naturally forming. Back here's the lake. Of course, it's very growed up back in here. Got some people swimming out there. That's entertainment for them. Right up through there's the deer trail. Now I've still got some thread. This thread's still up. Let's see though. No, they broke this one. See, you got to go 360. So I went 360. I went from that tree between here, and so they broke it. They went around. Came through here and broke this thread here. So that's usually what they do. I don't know if you can see that or not. Of course, that was between the two trees here. And of course, this leads into the thick brush and around to the entrance here. They go around and crawl in and then lay right there. We'll go on down. Okay. I've come to a fork in the trail. When I first started researching, I used to go down here and used to have all kinds of activity down here, down this trail right here. But what I'm getting ready to give you is what's called a tease. I stopped going down in there by myself alone because of some other cryptids that I'll mention later. Not in this video, but eventually I'll mention them when the time is right. So there's your tease. But I don't feel comfortable going that direction and back in there with the other cryptids that inhabit this area of this recreation area. And the big guys, the Bigfoot, don't like them either. So they've vamoosed and gone to another area. So pretty much from back in here, this is a little finger, about 4 acres. It's also where the little island is that I captured the snare and Bigfoot on. That now belongs to the other cryptids. So we're going to head up this horse trail here. I'm heading towards my main feeding station. That's where I'm going. Alright, we've come to another fork in the trail, and I want to take you down here. This area here is where I had my first really major encounter back in August of 2009 with a group of Bigfoot. There was a male, female, and at least 1 or 2 infants down here. I went down here, found some hair samples, was oblivious to them being there. The female took off running. I realized what was going on, so I stopped, turned around. I actually saw the big one. He was hiding in a pine tree, or actually better, a cedar tree. He was wrapped up in it. And I even said, there's a blob in there. And then my cell phone rang, broke my concentration, and then for some unexplainable reason I wandered off muttering, and for about 10 minutes was confused, and I just wandered off and was wandering up this trail before I kind of got my senses about me. So my theory is I got busted by infrasound. Either way you go, where I'm getting ready to show you, the big guy was no more than 10 feet from me, and I did extensive follow-up, came back the next day, found a footprint, went into the cedar tree. You could see where all kinds of limbs and vegetation had been broke off all the way up to about 10 foot. He disturbed the bark where he grabbed the tree, so it was a pretty intense couple of days there, knowing that the scudder was that close. So this is the trail. They were down here on the lake. And this is a good little place to observe. It's changed in 2 years. It's not as grown up, but still, I like to check it every now and then. People bring their horses down here to let them drink. Ooh, spider web. You can see here Now when I was here, this was more growed up. As you can see, the trail forks. One trail goes this way and this way down to the lake. And I'd chosen to go here. And you can actually see the limb is still here. But at that time, there was a bed right here. The grass was matted down flat. I actually found 2 wads of hair tats. Looked like someone had groomed themselves and pulled like mats off of them. And this limb here had been twisted. No, I'm sorry, here it is. This is the original. This, of course, is all dried up, but that had been twisted and then kind of hanging down. And of course, from here you can watch the lake and watch the people and observe. And here was a bedding area. There was an infant in here, which I didn't see at the time. I caught him on camera. There's an infant bedded down in here. There's an infant sitting right here, right in there. And I went back out and around and came down. Now this is, like I said, this is not as grown up as it was. And so I came down the trail. Something took off running loudly, very heavy, and went up that way. And so I started to turn and follow it, and then I thought, no, they're trying to distract my attention. So I moved on down here, and when I got about right here, and that cedar tree, right straight off my finger, was just a dark mass. A very large dark mass, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. And I couldn't, it just like a big fuzzy mass, and that's when I said, there's a blob in there, there's some sort of dark blob. And I had every intentions of walking in there and seeing what was going on. My cell phone rang, and that kind of broke my concentration. I remember, the last thing I remember was looking at what was going on, and then the next thing I remember, I'm back up on the main trail. Now, of course, my camera was still going, and I've got all that on video where I'm kind of muttering, and I'm not talking crazy, but I'm just, I don't understand why I saw something there, and then, boom, after all this activity, nothing. So, I don't know if you can still see. I'll go back in here. May not be able to. He was in this cedar tree right here. And there's still some broken limbs. I don't know if you can see from where he was. You can see that, and the limbs break all the way up to about 10 foot. He was right in there. And it was real interesting at the time because it was all fresh breaks, all green. And then we found a footprint. We found a footprint right here in the trail. And the vegetation was broke, but all in one direction. It's like when I came in here, they were laying in here. They heard me coming down the trail. An infant squatted. The female, or I'm supposing the female, jumped in the woods here. The big male went through here and hugged that cedar tree. And there was another little infant, I'm pretty sure, was down in here. So that's kind of a recount of the my first encounter with them. And this was the area. You could see how thick and grown up it was, or is. And still spooky sometimes when I come down in here. Well, let's go. Now I'm going to go over to the feeding station.